get right into this video. We're gonna start by combing out the hair. We want the hair to be lifted off the scalp so it'll be easy to cut. Now I got my 1.5 guard, just going all the way around, just trying to make sure that I got everything as even as possible. Now I got my trimmers, and I'm just creating that initial guideline just to make sure that I have enough room to fade and get this high taper in. And I'm also just making that line just so I could blend out the beard as well. Now I got my lever open, and I'm just creating a guideline that's about 1/2 inch. This is normally how, barbers set their guidelines or how they start their fades. They start with the lever open. Now I got it closed, and I'm knocking out that line all the way at the bottom. And it'll still leave a little bit of hair, so I go back in halfway, and I just take the rest of that out. Now I got my lever open on my 1 guard, and I'm creating a guideline, same as the last, just about 1/2 inch. Now I got my 2 guard on, all the way closed, and this is gonna be the biggest guard that we use. Now I got my 1/2 guard, and I'm blending down from the 1 guard open. The way I look at it with the 1/2 guard, this is our last section that's light. So after the 1/2 guard and you go up, that's when it starts to become darker. Now I got my 1.5 guard on, all the way open, and we're just staying underneath that 2 guard. We're going open, and now I'm closing it, just cleaning the rest off. We still got that last line in, so now we grab our 1 guard open, and we're just going ahead and taking that line out. Now I'm going back into my lever all the way open and just knocking out the beard. Started open, now I'm going back in halfway, now closed. It's usually easier to fade out the beard just because it's a smaller space. Lever open, pretty much doing the same system that I did on the taper area. And I went, now I got my 1/2 guard on, and I'm open, closing it as needed. So now we're starting the back taper. So we're just starting off with that initial line. Want to make sure this line's pretty even, just so you have an even fade. Now I got my lever open again. And now I believe I have it halfway. And don't mind the footage, guys.
This is only my 2nd video on YouTube, so the more content I make, the better I'll get.
So yeah, with that, this bottom section here, I go open, halfway close. That's pretty much my system. So now I got the 2 guard back on closed. Again, this is gonna be the largest guard. Or just creating another section. Now we got our 1 guard open. We're creating about 1 inch with our 1 guard open. We could go a little bit bigger than the 1/2 inch because in the backside there's usually more space to work with, so yeah. So now we're going back in with the 1 guard closed, softening up that line. Now I got my 1/2 guard open, staying underneath the line I made with the 1/2 guard open. The 1 guard open. Now we got it halfway. When you do it halfway, that's when it starts to come out. You can visibly see it starting to come out. Now we got our 1.5 guard open. And as you can see, I'm riding off into the hair, just trying to blend it even more. And I got it closed right now. It's softening up that bottom line. Now we're gonna go back in with our 1 guard open and just blend the rest of this thing together. Now we got our trimmers back in our hands, and we're just gonna hit that neckline. Just make sure that thing's, not pushed in, but we're keeping it natural and still sharp at the same time.
As you can see, I'm just taking my time as I go around the ear. You want to make sure that you take your time at this part because it's easy to mess it up.
So there's a little bit of bulk on the other side, so we're just bringing that down a little bit just to make this thing smooth. And then we're gonna go right back in with our trimmers and make that line again. Now we're hitting the back of the beard with our trimmers. Again, we're not trying to push it in. We're just trying to stay on the edges. And I'm hitting that top line of the beard. Right now, I'm not trying to focus on making it sharp. I'm just kind of getting my lines in and preparing myself. Now we're going to start hitting underneath his beard area. So we're hitting the top. In little areas of the beard, just so I like to do like a sort of like a connected dots type of thing. So I hit the top of the sideburn area, then the bottom, and then I'll take out my razor and just connect the dots basically. Yeah, like I was saying, so we're just above the Adam's apple, because if I lined them up right under the chin, it would expose all of his neck meat, neck fat, whatever you want to call it, and it just wouldn't look good. So now we're taking down the top of the hair, just going over the hairline, just preparing it. Now I got my spritz. I highly suggest using a spritz. That'll just lock the hair in place and it'll make it easier for the hair to be cut. Now I got my Tomb 45 shave gel. This is the older version, so Chris Bossy, if you're watching this, I'm up to date now, so we're good. Hitting that line again. I personally don't really like using shave gel because I feel like I can't make it as sharp as I want to. I feel like that blade just glides over it and makes it a little harder. Maybe I use too much, who knows. Now we're hitting the lineup. And it looks like I'm pushing it back, but I promise you, I'm just cutting off his bangs. If I lifted up his hair, it would just be his forehead. So that's not where his natural hairline is supposed to be. So we're just going to one side and going to the other. And if you noticed before, I tapped the side of like the vertical bars. So I kind of set myself up just to, connect the dots, as I was saying before. Now I'm doing some shear over comb, just trying to blend it in a bit more. Now we're hitting the top of the mustache. Just trying to make sure it's nice and clean for him. Bringing the razor out, hitting the edges, hitting the hairline. Now I'm lifting up the hair, and I didn't show the footage of me using the razor everywhere, but I did. So I lift up the hairline and I'm spraying some enhancements. You always want to make sure the cut is nice and sharp before you use enhancements. If you just use enhancements and you just use the trimmer or whatever, like, it's just not as sharp in my opinion. And it's just, you just want to master no enhancements first. Or combing it back down. Combing it back down and hitting the hairs that hang over. Yeah, I got this advice from Slider Cuts. You should definitely go check him out. He gives a lot of good advice. He said that doing the hairline, you have to do it in rounds. So you'll hit the hairline once, comb it down, hairs will still fall over. Line it up again, comb it again, and line it up again. You don't want to just be satisfied with one pass over. As you can see, I just added a little bit of enhancements to his beard, and I hit it with the line. So now we got the before. As you can see, my guy was looking pretty rough. And then we got the after. Let me know if we got him back in the game.
If you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And on that note, we out.